Am I the a-hole for giving my husband an ultimatum? My husband and I, M28, F30, met at university and have been married for 4 years. Over the past 2 years, my husband has been sending monthly, sometimes even weekly, sums of money to his younger sister to allow her to pursue her dreams. For context, my husband's sister dropped out of uni 2 years ago because she felt it wasn't for her and has been bouncing from fantasy to fantasy in trying to find what she is passionate about and good at. These sums of money have been increasing, and I feel uncomfortable with us giving so much money to someone, even if it is his family member. I raised and have been raising the issue with him, but he can't find it in himself to deny his sister. He'll start to come around to my point of view, but the moment he speaks to her, he surrenders all over again. More immediately, last weekend, I gave my husband an ultimatum that he either stop giving money to his sister or I'd have to seriously consider our marriage. He did not react well and said that he wasn't going to be selfish when we had so much money to spare. I told him this wasn't about the money, but about setting boundaries with his family. Unfortunately, he refused to listen and said that he wanted to help his sister achieve her dreams. This is the first big fight we've had in years, but I don't think I'm in the wrong. So, am I the a-hole? Edit. Would it be relevant to know the amount? AITA has no consensus, but OOP received mixed reactions of NTAs and YTAs for making an ultimatum. Editor's note. OOP has made lots of comments. I am listing the common questions asked and responses. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. This is a fundamental difference in finances. If you feel so strongly about it, then you know what you need to do and follow through. Nantya. Commenter 2. Facts. If money convos turn into a war every time, it's already past the fix-it-wa-talk stage. Follow through, OP. Up. I don't want to suggest that we have money disagreements. That's why this seems particularly surprising. Commenter 3. How are the finances set up? Do you share an account that it is coming from, and do both of you work? Or does he earn and manage all the finances? OOP. We both work and have a joint account. The money goes from that account. Commenter 4. NTA. I am curious to know, OP, how are his parents like? What's their situation? Did your husband act like the father figure to his sister their whole life? Did their parents spoil them? I am assuming she's probably in her 20s. She's an adult capable of getting a job. Most content creators have a job on top of their content. It doesn't make sense why he is sending her money. I think your husband fails to realize you are now his immediate family, not his sister. There shouldn't be handouts to someone in her 20s if college isn't for her fine. She can perfectly go get a full-time job like the rest of us. His parents are dead and have been for some time. My husband paid for her uni bills, which we decided on together. I just don't think he can stand to hurt her, or anyone for that matter. In personal matters, he can be very placating. Commenter 4. ICOP. Your husband seems to be a people pleaser. I myself can be guilty of that. It's either good or bad. It really depends to what extent one's willing to please. Given that their parents passed away, I am sorry to hear that. Sounds like the sister may be still hurting from their passing, and your husband tries to support her with her life, make her feel better about it. I would bring the subject up lightly, since it seems like your husband feels the responsibility of being a parent since their parents are no longer with us. You aren't in the wrong, though. OP, your husband just needs some redirection. You got this. Up. I think it may be a reflection of us not being able to have children ourselves. But maybe my amateur psychology isn't the way to go here. Commenter 5. I see in one of your comments that their parents are dead, which could put a different light on things. How much is he giving her on average? Also, what are your individual salaries? Up. He makes significantly more than me. Last year, it amounted to around $24,000. Editor's note, approximately $325K USD, while I made around $9,000. Editor's note, close to $132K USD. He's giving close to $2,500, $3,000 a month. Editor's note, 385 4062 USD. Commenter 6. Are you serious about this ultimatum? Are you seriously going to divorce over this? If you are just threatening, it's never a good idea because now you've just shown you are not serious. If you decide to walk away, I would not blame you. He's giving away about 10% of your joint money to his sister against your wishes. We made a rule that if my husband's sister wanted money, she had to ask both myself and him. Now she has to convince me she has a plan for the money and is going to spend it wisely. She needs to understand it's no longer just Big Brother money. His money now belongs to you too. You guys can come up with reasonable conditions for the money. 1 career change per calendar year, a yearly financial cap, a month financial cap, whatever number or condition you both can live with and stick to it. OOP. This is the solution I'm leaning towards. Thank you. Commenter. This is very subjective and nuanced. Following her dreams, bouncing from fantasy to fantasy, etc. Are these your words? His? Hers? Are her interests and jobs really that impractical? The amounts of money kind of matter, honestly. How much you have to spare, how much is being given, the rate of increase, the frequency, your plans for the future, all of it. A lot of people are saying he's not respecting your boundaries and he doesn't get to decide what to do with we money. Well, guess what? It works both ways. He's not obligated to just conform to whatever you feel is in everyone's best interest, and you can't just decide that he can't help out a family member because it makes you uncomfortable. And he doesn't get to go spending money on whatever he thinks is appropriate either. This is marriage. People don't always see eye to eye, and there are disagreements on things, finances included. This doesn't mean he doesn't respect you or you don't respect him, etc. There just needs to be the love and respect to be able to work out some sort of compromise. And at the end of the day, if something is truly a deal breaker, either of you are free to move on from this. Is he denying you anything financially? Is this lack of money keeping you from living the life you want to live? Can you set a limit on the amount or frequency? If this is all out of principle and the amount of money isn't impacting you, I'd reconsider these ultimatums. There are other avenues you can take here before having him choose between his sister and his wife. He's helping family and it's not putting you in any kind of position. OOP. The editorializing about fantasy to fantasy was my words. As mentioned above, the amount of money last year amounted to around $3,000. Editor's note, about $40, $660 USD. And she is currently attempting to become a musician after becoming disillusioned with acting. The money is not having any discernible impact on our livelihood. What are the sisters' dreams? Any progress made? Up. They vary. She is currently pursuing a career in music, after a stint in acting. Commenter 8. Ask him what exactly is it paying for? Education or clothes and or travel? Whoop. As far as I'm aware, it's expenses in general. House bills. She's living in their parents' house, which they inherited. Food, travel, and so on. Sometimes she'll ask for extra if a particular career-related expense arises. Update 3. 5 weeks later. So, following some of your advice, I had a long conversation with my husband and raised the possibility of having shared accounts in addition to a joint household account. He was open to the idea, but again resisted stopping the transfers of money. Again, following the advice, I clearly outlined why I was uncomfortable in a calm way. He became increasingly nervous and eventually fell silent. At the end, he said that I needed to talk to his sister if I wanted to fully understand everything. She came over to our house and explained everything. Apparently, their parents were not the best even when they were alive. She now blames my husband for ruining her childhood because they were constantly being compared, and she was dismissed in favor of him as her interests were less orthodox. She views this money as compensation for the emotional abuse she suffered from their parents. I asked her if my husband had directly said or done anything to her at that time, and she said that wasn't relevant because what he was doing provided their parents with the opportunity to put her down. I want to say that I very much sympathize with her, but it still did not convince me that we needed to send our money. When I later raised it with my husband, he expected me to understand his actions and was very shocked when I still advised us against sending the money. He has apparently been harboring this guilt for many years and did not tell me earlier as he was scared. Wrongly so, I'd think less of him. To be honest, while I'm sure it was very painful for her, I don't see why my husband and I have to pay the price for his parents' wrongs. At any rate, we have at least temporarily stopped sending the money apart from still paying for utilities and necessities. I suspect we'll come to a compromise that involves a lump sum plus signing over their parents' house. Thank you for your advice. Editor's note. OOP has made lots of comments. I am listing the common questions asked and responses. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. So your SIL is emotionally manipulating your husband, even though he did absolutely nothing and he's falling for it? Good luck with that. Do not have children with this man. He is in no way equipped to handle it. Up. I honestly think it's something they've both simply accepted for a very long time. Commenter 2. I wouldn't even adopt a fish with this man. He's putting his sister first before you and your relationship. If something happened to him financially or otherwise, would she drop everything to support him like he's done for her? Or even give emotional support? OP. I always thought they had a close relationship. Less close than I thought, evidently. Has OOP suggested therapy to her husband? OP. I'm afraid he wouldn't be especially conducive to therapy. Not consciously, that is. OOP on the house. SIL is living in OOP. It was jointly inherited by my husband and his sister. Commenter 3. Unfo. Has SIL ever had a long-term relationship? See where I'm going with this? OOP. Not to my knowledge, but in fairness, I'm not the authority on her personal life. Commenter 4. To be honest, based off of her behavior, now I'm truly wondering if she had a terrible childhood or if she just felt like her parents should have coddled her a lot more than they did. The fact that she's saying that his behavior is not relevant leads me to believe that she's exaggerating in order to make your husband feel guilty. OOP. By all accounts, their parents were very disappointed with her through most of her later youth. I do think they were at the very least emotionally neglecting. Commenter 5. Sis has him believing he owes her restitution. For some, maybe favoritism during childhood. Sounds like they both could use therapy. I don't even think it was favoritism. They were very exacting parents who had specific demands of their children. Commenter 6. Tell hubby that if he feels guilty, he can pay for therapy, but anything else is emotional blackmail. First, he was emotionally abused by his parents, and now by sister. Ask him why his parents' choices were his responsibility. I'm afraid an ultimatum is going to be the only way to get a resolution on this. We've been paying for her therapy alongside other costs for some years now. Was OOP's husband the golden child? OP. From what I know, there seems to have been a cocktail of emotional neglect and negative comparison making. Does OOP's husband have his sister as a beneficiary under a life insurance plan? No.